People inherently fear evil. However, occasionally, a person may become seduced by evil.
What are you getting at?
Share with me the story of Sparta.
What I wanted to talk about is, I wrote about my ideas of explaining the characters with the colors and the duality of body and mind.
Yeah. Yep. Very cool
And
idea.
I got that idea from, like, I watched a lot of Elden Ring explanation videos, and that's where I learned to interpret the world and the characters in terms of colors. For example, Radan is red, and he's symbolizing strength and all that.
Mhm.
Like red is the color of physical strength.
Yeah.
And on the contrary, blue is the color. Blue symbolizes so many things, but mainly the mind, and it's the color of humanity. I heard that is the most human color.
Oh, really?
It's yeah, awesome magic, of course, uh, soul. You know, that's why Ronnie is like not having a body. She's weak in body, but she's all about coldness and mind and cold and calculating and magic and all that.
Yeah. You know, how what's her name? The one that you fight next to the moon. Is it Renala?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's associated somewhat with the color blue as well. And in Buddhism, the moon is heavily associated with consciousness and the mind. Just another thing.
Oh yeah. Also, Virgil, when you find him, he's standing on top of the tower and facing the moon. He's high up on the sky.
There you go. Yeah, the moon, when it comes to Eastern symbolism, particularly in Buddhism, is very, very important and is heavily associated with the mind.
Yeah. And so to start explaining like the lore of Devil May Cry, you have to start with explaining how the word started, and it actually has a kind of Dark Souls-like lore. In the manga, it explains how the word was created. Like, at first it was darkness, and from darkness born light, the human word. So the darkness equals with the demon word, while the light is humanity.
Yeah.
And I got the idea that demons symbolizes are the equivalent of the body, the strength, like physical strength, while humans are the emotions. Like humans have emotions, unlike demons who lack emotions at all.
Yes.
So humanity, like in this case, is very, very much associated with the mind and emotions. And there is also an aspect that first came the demon word, and then after that, from that, the human word was born, the light. So it also makes sense, like without body, the mind cannot exist. So the mind was born from the body, you know? And the two cannot exist without the other.
I learned that from Morpheus.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the Devil May Cry story is that it's not making demons look like they are the evil. They are not. The story is not so black and white, like demons are all evil and humans are all good, because there are many examples of demons capable of emotions and protecting others and love.
Yep.
While there are humans that can be just as evil as demons. For example, Arkham in the Devil May Cry 3 is the most evil person in the world, sacrificing his own wife
Mhm.
and stuff. So, what what is the most important thing to note is that I think demons are darkness and the body, or like embodies a strength, a power, as you might take it, while humans are the light, so white color and stuff, and they are the mind and emotions.
Mm-hmm. That's very perceptive of you. And by the way, you brought up Dark Souls. The same thing sort of applies to the lore of that game as well. Because you know dark magic in those games, it's described, like if you look at the item descriptions for stuff like the Dark Orb magic from, I believe it's Dark Souls 1, it describes it as having more of a physical, weighty character. That's because darkness, the void, is associated with body, the physical body. Whereas white, that's mind, that's spirit, right? That's the intangible. So yeah, very perceptive of you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and duality is everywhere in Devil May Cry. Like, for example, the demon word in at the end of DMC3 uh, is like you see mirrors everywhere. In even the first game, Dante has a twin, and his twin comes out of a mirror. And in 3, the underworld is being represented with the mirrors and a blood-soaked ground,
Mm-hmm.
like red on the floor, and upside down you also see a blue sky. So that's presumably the human word above it.
Yeah, it's very Japanese influences showing up there. Well, not Japanese, but just
Yeah.
Eastern in general.
And then demons and humans are everywhere, like Dante being half demon and half human. He has a twin. And there are two girls, Trish and Lady, who are working together later on. And Trish is a full demon, while Lady is a full human. And they manage to work together. Also, later on, I'm gonna mention V and Urizen, who are the human and the demon part of Vergil.
Mm-hmm.
They are also, one is full human, other is full demon. And the interesting thing is V is being the soul, while Urizen is being the representation of the body. Like, literally, V cannot exist without his body. He's falling apart, like he would be a soul only,
Mm-hmm.
and needs to return to his body.
So,
And
sorry, which one between V is V the soul or the body?
V is the soul. He's human,
Mm-hmm.
like full human.
So, how is he able to survive without a body?
He has some demonic energy left from. Yeah, and as he was born, he's making contract with the other demons that Virgil discarded. They are like bad memories, and relying on them to survive, he goes on because he quickly realizes that his body is falling apart, so he needs to return to Urizen and unite again.
Which he does at the end of that game, doesn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
and blue and red is also can be seen in, for example, Lady's eyes. She's a character in DMC3. One of her eyes red, one of her eyes blue, and of course you get blue and red and blue, like red being Dante's color and blue is Virgil,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the main thing I wanted to talk about because it can describe their characters so well, and you can hardly ever see a character so described by mind and willpower, the strength of the human mind, as Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
And not only the way he fights, but also his entire story is based on his willpower and like ambition and everything that blue symbolizes, even soul and magic is his strength. While Dante represents the body like a healthy body, and he becomes like a power of destruction as he transforms into his the Cinder trigger form. But he also lacks the mind side. In terms, he's not as motivated and ambitious as Virgil. Like he is. That's why you can see him being stagnant in DMC3's beginning and 5's beginning. What he does is just he's sitting in his chair, waiting for something to happen because he lacks motivation and ambition to do anything. And that's a such a relatable human condition, like
Sure.
you have the strength, but you lack motivation to do anything.
You to her birthday party, but your phone is disconnected.
Why do you refuse to gain power? The power of our father, Sparta.
But to give you some backstory about what happened to Dante and Virgil, like so their father was Sparta, who was a demon, and he decided to side with the humans because demons wanted to destroy the human world, and he stepped up for them and saved them. But he also has fallen in love with a human woman uh, who they had twins with, and of course they are half demon, half human, and they were little children. And after what Sparta did to the demons, like basically betrayed them, and that's why demons to this day hating him so much and his bloodline. So they trying to take out a revenge on Dante and everyone. One night, Virgil was outside of the house and sitting in his playground, and Dante and his mother was inside when demons attacked the entire city, and they burned down their house and killed Eva. Oh, at this point, Sparta is also dead because he sacrificed himself. And Dante survived inside, but Virgil, there is as a kid, uh, he brutally gets stabbed in the back as he's sitting. And in that moment, uh, he calls for help, and all he wishes to have power, basically, because he feels so weak. And the demons like keep attacking him and spear him, and that's when his devil awakens inside of him out of fear.
Fear. Yes. Fear.
And that's an important thing about Virgil, that it's fear what motivates him, because he got so traumatized he doesn't want to relive those memories again of being weak and
Yeah.
being attacked again. And from that point his devil fully awakens because of fear, but Dante doesn't. He still doesn't awaken at this point. So Virgil has to survive on his own. They grew up, and while Dante is make is like creating his shop, Devil May Cry, to fight against demons out of revenge and stuff. He is he's always can be seen in the game's beginning as he's just sitting on his chair, being lazy, eating pizza, or just in 5 he's literally just sitting on with a magazine on his face, waiting for something to happen because he lacks motivation to do anything, lacks the mind. While Virgil is the opposite. He's
He lacks
all
the
about
strength.
yeah, and but he's willpower and mind is so strong, and he's so ambitious. He keeps moving and he travels, and he's actually on the move, like he's motivated, and as you might say. That's also a theme with the blue, as I learned from Elden Ring lore videos. Like, blue can be a symbol of water, like flowing water. In especially in Eastern philosophy, is symbolized with like health and stuff. Like stagnant water is a birth. Is the birthplace of all kinds of nastiness and stuff.
Yeah.
While flowing water counters essentially the scarlet rot, for example. That's why Malenia also like learns the flowing water technique. So Virgil is on the move all the time and travels, and that's why the next thing that happens to him is in Devil May Cry 4. You can see him in the past before everything happens. That's when he first appears. He visits Fortuna, a city, to find more information about Sparda, and that's where he encounters a Sparda worshipper group that lives there. They worship Sparda, the savior of humanity, basically, and that's why he goes there to investigate it. And that's where he meets Nero's mother, that we doesn't know anything about her. But one thing is sure, that she was most likely another Sparda worshipper, because they say 90% of the town is like consists of Sparda worshippers, and you can see even a cutscene. She's one of them, and that's probably the reason why she fall in love with Virgil, because maybe somehow she figured out that he's a son of Sparta. That could have been playing into that, but eventually, like, Virgil just moves on after impregnating her, and that's then Devil May Cry 3 happens, when Virgil raises the Temeni Grove, which is another portal that's Sparta sealed, because he wants to get, I think, the Sparta's sword or something to get back. So he wants power, like physical strength. That's what he wishes for. And that's when it's very symbolic in the beginning. Like, Dante starts on the bottom, in like amongst the trash on the floor ground, while Virgil's on the top of the tower, and he's the one motivating Dante to get out of there and meet him. Like, Virgil's being a motivating force, essentially inviting him, and the only thing that motivates Dante is to have fun.
No doubt you've got some fun planned for me. Right, Virgil?
That's why he comes out. While Virgil is not only motivated by fear, but also he likes the idea that he's a son of Sparta, and because Sparta could achieve so much, he believes in himself that he's destined to be like him. Essentially, that like knowing that he has Sparta's power within him, that also motivates him to live up to him. So Devil May Cry 3 is a story goes on, like Dante meets Virgil, and when they fight, Dante's devil trigger also awakens because of anger. Like, the reason why his demon form awakens is because he gets so pissed of Virgil, like stabbing him and stuff, that he like wakes up, and that's when his demon inside him awakens, and that his reason for awakening is anger, while Virgil is fear.
While Virgil's what, sorry?
Virgil's devil trigger awakened because of fear, while Dante is awakened because of anger.
Okay.
It's also like red is symbolic to fire and body strength, while blue is like ice cold and associated. I can also mention that how much Dante and Virgil are they are named after the characters from Divine Comedy.
Yeah.
And there is also some similarities. For Dante, you can say that you can see Dante in Divine Comedy wearing red color, and he's physically there.
Mhm.
While Virgil, I heard he's a spirit eventually, uh, essentially. Like, he's not there in physical form, it's a spirit of Virgil. And I read he represents the voice of humanity, which is also pretty cool relation to humanity again.
Mhm.
Dante is also like uh, he's sort of like a blazing bull essentially. Like, he wants to destroy, but he lacks mind, so he just wants to. That's also explained why he gets so angry all the time. Like, even in the end, he realizes he has to kill Virgil, but he also says he's willing to kill him. So he doesn't really appreciate family yet. I know he wants to save him, but then he also says things like he would be willing to kill. And even in Devil May Cry 5, when he sees Virgil again, he reacts with anger and not thinking and just wants to kill. And even his music theme, the lyrics are saying things like "I want to destroy" and stuff. So he's a physical destroying power, essentially.
Mhm.
And even continuing on with Virgil's story, what happens to him is all related to his ambitions and the strength of his willpower. Like, in the end of Devil May Cry 3, he loses to Dante, and the next thing he does is falls off from the cliff into the underworld. And as he wakes up in the underworld, he wants to confront Mundus, uh, who is the king of the underworld. And he says, because Sparda could do it, he can too. And that's a very real and often harmful mentality that ambitious people have. And I am a victim to that as well, thinking that if other people can achieve something, then that motivates you that you can too. And sometimes you get blinded by that very hardly. But Virgil loses to Mundus. Like, he pays a big price because no matter how ambitious he is, his body just cannot make up for his ambitions. And that's a fact that many, myself as well, realizes that sometimes you want to take on a difficult job or something because you're so ambitious and motivated, but then have to realize that your body sometimes just not built for that, and your body just cannot make up for those ambitions, you know. And you can say that he loses to Mundus because he was weakened after the fight with Dante. Yes, that's also a factor, but also it's just another example that his body cannot make up for his ambitions and stuff.
Yeah. Man, I really need to play. I really need to play the first game. You know what? I might do that over the next few days. Because every time you talk about it to me, it just makes me want to play it even more. Play the first one.
Yeah, the gameplay is very makes you, like, you can see on this image as well, Dante is like half naked, like he's showing off his physical strength and
Cut
stuff.
like a motherfucker, yeah.
Yeah, and the gameplay is all about very heavily focuses on offense. You want to go in and attack, but in 5 especially, it also rewards you if you dodge in the right moment, and that also builds up style. And even when you reach the style high, like S rank, there is in 5 now there's an announcer voice saying 6 skills, savage, smoking, sexy style, and it's like the game encourages you to keep going, like, because it tells you that you look so fucking cool right now, just keep going. And it's very like, the game is telling you to keep doing what you're doing and until you get hit. So yeah,
Cool.
he's he's totally uh, believes in himself and motivated and ambitious. Like, that's pure ambition, and he's kind of blinded by the fact that his father did it, and he believes in himself so much that he could do it as well. But he's just not strong enough to kill him, and as a consequence, Mundus traps him and tries to take control over his mind. But his mind is yet again so strong, he resists for a long time. Like, it's also an example that his mind is so strong, his willpower, that he resists Mundus's torture. And Mundus breaks his Yamato, but he still doesn't give up. And I read it's not shown in the manga, but I read that what really breaks him is Mundus finds his amulet, the gift that he received from his mother, as well as Dante received the other half. And that's the only memory and item that he left. And when Mundus takes it, and I presume they not say it, but I guess he breaks the amulet in front of him because we don't know where it went. And that's when his will breaks, and he turns Vergil into the enemy we know as Nilo Angelo, in other names the Black Angel. And he puts him into this armor that is like a black soldier looking figure, and he makes a soldier out of him and completely controls his mind and sends him into the island where Dante arrives in the first game, together with other demons like the black jaguar cat, shadow, or griffon, the big bird, or nightmare,
Yeah.
the big bio weapon, which will appear in DMC5 again as memories. And even as Nilo Angelo, you can see Vergil being able to resist Mundus' mind control sometimes, because his mind is so strong. And then Dante defeats Nilo Angelo, but he doesn't. He kind of realizes that he was Vergil at the end, and then he just disappears, and we don't know what happens to him. And as Dante seals Mundus away again, he essentially frees Vergil from his control. And that's when Vergil disappears from the story and appears again in the beginning of Devil May Cry 5, but his body is crumbling and fading away, kinda, and I'm not sure why, but they say it's because he was fighting and kept losing and defeated. So for some reason, I'm not sure why, but his body starts crumbling, and he even says he's running out of time. So he has to do something. And his only choice is to try and separate his human from demon with the Yamato, because the Yamato has this hidden strength that it's capable of severing human from demon. And that's when he, like, after his experience as being defeated by Mundus, that's like he's losing his will.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, there is nothing left. He feels like losing his mind, his motivation, his ambitions. Like, he doesn't believe in himself anymore at that point.
Sorry, but like everything that you explained to me is terribly interesting, and as somebody who doesn't know a whole lot about Devil May Cry, it does add a lot of symbolic credibility to it, which I'm all about, and with all the stuff that I talk about on my channel. So maybe when I'm done Dragon's Dogma, I might check it out, the first one, and see how I like it, and then maybe progress from there. Okay, well, Elisa, it was a pleasure talking to you, as always. And good job, by the way.